We were the first who started publishing games with flexible KPIs. To tell the truth, it was the main secret. Like 3 years ago, I remember that many publishers, they were hunting top metrics, top KPIs in order to launch hits and so on. And to tell the truth, nobody wanted to work with us.
This is a no bullshit gaming show where we talk about games and their revenue in great detail, powered by our ad monetization, game design, and user acquisition triple threat expertise. Welcome to the 2.5 Gamers, the unfiltered truth served with a side of giggles. Let's not forget this is a 4 a.m. conference discussion vibe, so let's not take it too seriously. Tune in now and stay 2.5 steps ahead of the gaming industry.
Hello everyone and welcome to a very special episode of 2.5 Gamers. It's very special because today we are joined by Sergey from Azur Games. It's going to be a great episode. But before we get started, hi, my name is Felix Braberg.
I'm Jakub Remia.
And we are your hosts. And today, like I said, we're joined by a very special person from a special company. I'm excited for this because we attended a presentation from AppLovin on Amplify in Korea a year ago, and they showed the state of the hyper-casual markets. And the biggest slice of pie in terms of download was from one company, and that company was Azur Games. In terms of downloads, this could potentially be one of the biggest publishers in the world.
Yeah, we are.
We are. Maybe I'll let you introduce yourself, Sergey, and maybe you can give a little intro about Azur as well.
Guys, thank you so much for inviting me. Actually, it was a funny case because I met Felix after the conference, chilling near swimming pool and so on. It was quite informal, quite nice. Felix had terrible hangover. Me as well, but not so terrible. My name is Sergey. I'm almost 5 years at Azur Games. I'm head of in-house studio, so I know all the pains about development and so on. But I started at Azur Games as a publishing manager, and now I'm publishing lead, as well as doing merchant acquisition deals, publishing deals. To tell the truth, trying to do everything and as much as I can. And when I joined Azur, we were like maybe top 15, maybe top 20 publisher. And for last 2 or 3 years, we are top 1 publisher due to downloads. So very nice to be here. Hope it will be interesting for our viewers and for you. For me, for everyone.
So according to Sensor Tower, I say this, right? So Voodoo has about 50 million downloads a month, and according to Sensor Tower, it says about 100 million for Azur Games. So just want to put that out there for our listeners. Maybe you could just give an introduction to like Azur Games as a company, like what your guys' strategy is. I know you said some interesting things to me by the pool when I met you, but maybe you can just give an intro and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, sure. So initially, we are not a publisher, but in-house studio. And so we are doing mid-core titles, like we will speak maybe later about our World War Heroes shooter. It is our internal studio. And then I don't even know how to start with, actually. Good question. But in general, we are a publisher, in-house studio, and we are very open and flexible company. We were the first who started publishing games with flexible KPIs. To tell the truth, it was the main secret. Like 3 years ago, I remember that many publishers, they were hunting top metrics, top KPIs in order to launch hits and so on. And to tell the truth, nobody wanted to work with us because we were like no names, and we had some decent amount of downloads, but Voodoo and other publishers, they were maybe looking more preferable and all developers were trying to make a hit with Voodoo. And we just started publishing everything we can do, everything we can publish. And good for us, we have very strong BI instrument, our own BI instrument and predicts. And we were probably the first on the market who started launching hyper-casual with long ROAS. And we found out that, come on, even on some hyper-casual titles, LTV from day 14 till day 360 can be doubled. For most of, by the way, for most of our hyper-casual titles, I mean mid-performers. I call them mid-performers.
Can you put this into a time frame, Sergey? Like when was this?
When was this? What year?
Oh my God. It was maybe when you can see the growth, maybe from 19. By the way, when I joined Azur Games, we started like acquiring more games, publishing more games. And you know what? Then we were the first who started iterate old hyper-casual titles in order to prolong their life. And what we see right now, the titles we took like 2 years ago, and they were low KPI trash games. So I don't know how other publishers call them, but right now it is mid performers because we like iterate them not bad. We do our technical updates, some content updates with our studios, sometimes in-house, and that's how we increased our portfolio. I don't know any game from my team. I don't know any game that stopped acquiring users from 2019. Every game I published, it still acquires some users and it still has active UA campaigns.
Looking at this kind of graph with the general downloads from Azure.
If you speak about some titles right there, you can also take into consideration that we acquired portfolio of Good Job and of Tasty Peel. And right there, I can see that, for example, you may see Funrace 3D. It was not our game at that time. It was game of Good Job. We also acquired some games of Legendary. And it is also important when you see at all those games and on our growth, from the perspective of last years, it's difficult because you will see all the analytical instruments, they do not show this transfer, you know?
Yeah, it just shows as it is, as yours from the beginning.
As it is, but on 19, we didn't have those titles.
200 million downloads a month?
No way. It is the pain of all analytical instruments because they do not show all those transfers, and that is the issue. But anyway, if we see our growth in terms of like graphic, I can show you, you know, I can show you like it is like that, always up. Anyway, with acquiring games, with publishing our own games, like I have a joke. Once you don't know how to make games, you can buy games. So we struggle, guys. We struggle. We love games. We really love games. We really love our partners. And we were first to publish flexible KPI games because we saw the potential in our partners, in our games. And moreover, right now, we have several premium partners who providing us with amazing games. And we started with them.
Sorry, slow down. We'll get there. Let me just ask.
You should interrupt me because I can go far.
So I usually do that with Jakub all the time, but let's just start it from your perspective, right? Because these downloads share quite a big story. Azure is a hyper casual publisher, right? Can you just kind of explain what's going on right now in the hyper casual market and explain kind of your outlook for the future? Because, you know, the popular term is the hyper casual is dead.
Not really dead, but in decline, let's say.
Guys,
like most of the companies, the big guys are switching.
I heard this phrase 4 years ago, that hyper casual is dead. I swear, 4 years ago, there were a lot of takes from big publishers and cool guys, hypercasual is dying. Hypercasual is dying. Now it is also dying. You ask me what's happening? It is dying as always, but we anyway see that it acquires downloads. But okay, if we don't joke, I will tell you. Hypercasual finally, as the whole mobile market, faces the crisis. Since eCPM is the only health indicator, eCPM, it is, who don't know, for our viewers, it is cost for 1,000 impressions in your game. And it is the only metric that important if we speak about monetization potential and so on, like the core metric. And it faced just the market rules because during COVID, we saw a tremendous increase in eCPM because those impressions were advertisers were ready to pay for them, and it boosted a lot eCPM. But everything within market laws. Like we have demand, we have supply, and right now we see that demand is not so high actually, but demand not so high, but supply is crazy. You see a lot of titles, a lot of games try to sell their impressions. Actually, the market laws work for eCPM the same way. Right now, we just see that competition is crazy. Competition is crazy. The volume of the whole market is not growing the way I see new games grow, because we still have old titles that acquire downloads. We still have new titles. And what about eCPM? Right now it is decreasing, and the competition is growing, the quality is growing. So actually, what's going on? Competition happens, competition finally happens. Well, that's what's going on the hyper casual, actually, just briefly, if you speak.
So does that mean you guys are going to make a transfer to hybrid casual, or is that the solution?
Like hybrid casual, it was always what everyone tried to reach. I mean, everyone tried to attract
long-term revenue.
To hit both, like in-app revenue and ad revenue, if they can. Because I remember that even 3 or 4 years ago, there were some such called hyper casual titles, but with strong in-app monetization. It is a problem of definition. I see that there are some games that may be called hybrid casual, but it is core domain. It is very well made games with a lot of content and so on. So I don't know what is hybrid casual, like the method of monetization probably, but it is not genre.
Tell them our definition. Tell them our definition.
Our definition is that hybrid casual is more of a revenue profile than a genre or a game kind of a system setup. It's more of a game that makes most of the revenue usually through ads, like more than 50%, but then the other half, which is from 40 to other 50%, is made by IAPs, which by the definition means that the game has much more stronger retention profile and monetization profile.
It's very strong in-app share, by the way. As for me, 40% of in-app share, it is not hybrid casual. It is like casual or even core domain, because as for me, from my perspective of view, I see that mobile games market is ocean, and you may feel that you understand what's going on, but only those who dive really deep, they understand how deep it is and how many things we don't know actually. And to tell
we
the truth,
dive pretty deep. Don't get me wrong.
look, and because when I talk to developers, external developers, they telling me we want to do hybrid casual, and I answer them, okay, what you know about hybrid casual? How many in-app share you're gonna have? And I always receive quite like something like maybe 60%, maybe 50, maybe 40. Like it varies so critically. But as for me, from what I see, that starting from 20 till 40% of in-app revenue, it is like something like hybrid casual, because actually a lot of cool titles, even idle RPG, a very trendy genres for me. I love this genre, idle RPG. Basically, it shows tremendous amount of in-app revenue, like about a lot of titles with 1 million in-app revenue. But I know, because I talked to guys directly, I know the numbers, and for most of them, ads revenue is about maybe 50 or 60%, so they earn even more. But as well, one problem I see, developers don't know how much games can earn. They see 1 million in-app revenue and they think that the game like earning the same sum as net profit, but it may vary. It may vary critically. So,
Rima, do you maybe want to ask your game design questions? Because I think that's a better segue into the whole thing. Because
I guess let's maybe jump from the portfolio perspective into
sure.
like some numbers and benchmarking there, and then we can jump. Like, I definitely want to talk about the slime castle game, which is very, very interesting, and it pretty much fits into our Christmas prophecy for those who know. So maybe you heard about that also, Sergey. But regarding just the portfolio. So as we see, as Felix mentioned, you're making more than 100 million downloads a month. Revenue-wise, IP-wise, it's something like, I don't know, 3 million, but again, this varies because it's a sensitive data.
If you're this size, I'm just saying I would expect their daily ad revenue to be anywhere between $1 million to $1.4 million. But Sergey doesn't need to comment on that, but that's what I would expect it to be.
You mean total revenue?
Daily ad revenue. Daily ad revenue.
Daily ad revenue, maybe even more.
Maybe even more. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Can you define, Sergey, just like by estimate, how much kind of revenue is coming purely from hyper casual games, meaning games that are making like, I don't know, 90% driven by ad revenue, and then the rest of the portfolio, such as the mid-core titles or the casual ones?
In general, come on, guys. If I tell you, you will know the numbers. But okay, in general, I see that it varies, and our in-app share is about anyway, maybe 10%, maybe even lower. Yeah, we have some in-app titles. We have some cool titles, but still our in-app share from total revenue is let's say less than 15%.
Okay, that's enough for us. That's like very, very good definition.
Yeah. So we have some cool titles, but still we have a lot of revenue from ads monetization, and we really love it. We know how to work with it. Once again, we were the first on the market who started launching the games in very long ROAS, hyper casual games, I mean. It is from my perspective of view. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway, I was in closest touch with the industry during 19, 20, 21, when I was working as a publishing manager and talking directly to studios, how they work with partners, what target metrics they have, what ROAS they have, what BI instruments they have, and I understand that, it seems like we were the first who started launching hyper casual in long ROAS. Because we really see potential in ads monetization. It will never die. Now it faces turbulence, but anyway.
What are the metrics you actually look for right now?
Right now, we try, as everyone, to make more launches, to make more stable launches with good, strong, long-term retention. Right now, we don't look at CPI at all. We finally switched to the phase when all the experience we accumulated in games, in PC games, in mid-core titles, in casual titles, we finally trying to do unique, cool titles, not to try rethink something, but to do, I call them I call them just unique games, not another attempt to rethink someone. For example, our recent title, Bunker Wars, it is RTS game, looks similar to Mushroom Wars, but with its unique and charming setting. But we don't look at CPI, we mainly look at day 1 retention, day 7 retention, as everyone. It's about day 1,
do you have a ROAS
Hmm.
target? Because we hear a lot of times from the big guys, like they have a ROAS target,
Yeah.
for instance, like 120 days, 150% ROAS. Would you have something similar as for definition
We
of
are
a healthy,
we are more flexible,
business,
actually.
basically?
We are more flexible.
So even lower, yeah.
It can be even lower. We anyway see the potential, and it can be even lower. For example, Slime Castle you showed us, it was rejected, as far as I know, by several publishers, but we saw longer ROAS and good numbers there. And
okay.
the same situation, by the way, was with our Worms Zone. It is one of the biggest our titles. It has about 500 million downloads or even more right now, and it still acquires a lot of downloads, and it performs perfect. It was also rejected by several publishers 5 years ago just because it had bad metrics, such called bad metrics. But bad metrics were only in United States. What about worldwide? It was perfect. And moreover, there were times when around like maybe 5% of the whole Indonesia were our DAO. It was our daily active users, around 5% of the whole population of Indonesia. So it is strong stuff, you know. And
just going back to this retention, like, is it the classical 40, 30, 50, like the day 1, day 7, and day 14?
Yeah,
like, or what is it you guys are looking at?
Unfortunately, I will not tell you anything new there, but the only difference is that we still very flexible because we love games. We love when partners earn cash with us, as well as we also love earning money. And to tell the truth, we can be flexible, and that's why we try to give a shot to everything and to see what's going on. On the one hand,
let's turn the other way around. So if you say you're flexible,
right.
what's the point when you stop being flexible and you say, like, this is outright not part of your publishing pipeline?
When we do such a called stress test, when we make a test with a tremendous amount of downloads, of ad costs, like increasing ad costs around maybe at least 1K daily, and we see that we don't, our KPIs are not matching with our understanding of how game may perform. For example, we see idle RPG, and we see that for example, day 7 is 50% ROAS, for example. We understand, okay, maybe not. But for example, if you speak about time managers games as a genre of time managers, like cooking games and so on, it can be so. It can be like day 7, even 50, and it will have ROAS of 1.5 years as a strong casual title, mainly with ad monetization, but it will work out. You know, I know a lot of time managers that build mainly on ad monetization, and they have ROAS like 1.5 years as the casual titles with amazing in-app revenue.
But that's basically still, like normal casual title, like, cooking and stuff like that.
But normal casual title normally provides you with a decent amount of in-app. If you speak about classical time managers, it's more about ad monetization. So in that way, we are flexible. We always see and try to understand our expectations and our understanding of specific genre and of specific game we test, whether it is something that may show us LTV higher than CPI. Anyway, we work in this paradigm.
So basically, profitability is the main goal, if I understand correctly.
At least if you speak about flexible and low margin but stable titles, at least 12% it is what we can give a shot, maybe even 10. It depends.
And how
really.
much
It depends.
and how much UA budget do you usually need to spend to be like, yeah, this is good, this is bad?
It also depends on the genre. Look, we have a lot of hyper casual titles. We acquiring right now hybrid, casual. We have mid-core. If we speak about hyper casual, such called mid performers, it's about maybe 15K daily. 15K daily, it is mid performer, maybe 20K. Hit games in hyper casual, it's about 30, 35, 50 K daily, or even more. You know, if you may spend more, you will spend more. So
of course,
the more the better. If we see that ROAS still good for us. What about casual titles, hybrid casual, core, and so on? It varies critically. You may have very high margin game, but you can't scale it up. It remains only like 3K daily. It's very high margin. It is what we see for a lot of shooters, by the way. A lot of shooters suffer from that. We have strong expertise in the shooters, and you may keep them nice at low budget, but once you scale it, you can't compete with the biggest fishes on this market, and you keep low. So it is the matter.
Sorry, do I get it right that is basically the strategy behind the two world, like Modern Strike Online and World War Heroes, basically, which are, I guess, I don't know if you acquired those or built those yourself, but one launched 2016, the other 2018, and they're pretty much having a pretty stable performance in the portfolio.
Legacy. It is the first titles, like one of the first titles, and it is what we're trying to do there. We always like looking for the best proportion of organic we have, of ad costs we have, and of course ROAS. But anyway, we develop the projects, and in the autumn we will have kick-assing collaboration for World War Heroes. I cannot reveal any details, but we still do live ops there. And in the autumn, somewhere in September or October, it's going to be a very cool event and very cool collaboration. So stay in touch.
Sounds good. Maybe it's something like Sabaton or something. I hope so. I've seen that all the time on Wargaming portfolio. Anyway, so if I get it right, those are like two legacy titles all together making like 1 million in IPs a month, pretty much. And then there are other games we talk about, which are stuff like Kingdom Clash, Tank Stars, and Battle Lines, which are, let's say, newer kind of hybridish, mid-core-ish titles. If I understand correctly, Tank Stars is something that is following up on Bowmasters from Legendary.
It was also acquired. It was acquired by us from Legendary. Now we do everything in-house. We took the games for our iterations, for our live ops, and like right now we're trying to boost them by our own.
Okay. And then Battle Lines, if I get it right, this is something kind of closer to like Art of... Oh, sorry, not this one.
No, it is a puzzle RPG genre.
Yeah, this is closer to Empires and Puzzles, if I understand. So there's like a puzzle element on the bottom and fight happens on the top, which is, again, puzzle RPG. And then the other title, which was Kingdom Clash. Yeah, this one reminded me a little bit of Art of War Legions, where there's like a mass battle.
Interesting stuff about those games, Art of War and our game. It is in-house development, by the way. And of course, initially we tried to rethink Art of War. But what's funny is that they see some cool features from our game and now implement as well.
So they're copying you now. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm not gonna like declare about it, but the funny fact that our guys probably were inspired by Art of War, but some features when I discussed with producer of Kingdom Clash, that some features were taken in Art of War from our game. So
okay,
it is still in soft launch. It is what
it's
you
still
see.
soft launch and already
it is
making 10K a day in IPs.
Wow.
It is soft launch, guys. Yeah.
Okay, because Tankstars, that is making something like 2K, 4K, but download
it
wise,
is all title. It is all title, and
all title, and
we struggle right now with that.
And then the battle lines, this is again making something like 3K a day. Which
It is also it is still in the preparation stage. Like, we took this game for publishing, and as far as I know, it is not a global launch yet.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get to the main thing, which is the Slime Castle game, which, if I understand correctly, will in a few months show up on my radar, which is 33K IP revenue a day.
After 2 months. After 2 months live.
Yeah, after 2 months live or something. It's pretty recent title actually, because it says here it's launched May 4th, so basically just few weeks out. And as I said, it's pretty much an iteration on our Christmas prophecy, what we said during Christmas Eve last year when we covered Doodle Magic versus Slime, where it's a tower defense without the road.
Yeah.
And actually we can talk about the development, but it's a very, very nice iteration here, because what happened, and we covered it on the pod a few months, that the guys from Doodle Magic actually copied themselves and create Bang Bang Survivor, which just make 10 times more revenue. But this seems like finally a proper iteration for a Western market, whereas the gameplay is now sideways. It's not coming from top to bottom. That's a giant iteration, which probably was done because this is not a roguelite game. This is something more of let's say, modification of idle RPG, whereas instead of choosing abilities between the waves, you are actually kind of doing this kind of roguelite idle RPG run where you slowly upgrade the abilities of the slime, and I mean in a lot of vectors, not only during the gameplay but also outside of gameplay into the meta, which just pretty much moves the things around. So if I upgrade my attack to, let's say, I don't know, 500, the starting upgrade cost will stay the same, but it will push me higher and higher, and I'm always kind of moving into the waves further and further. Regarding the progression, if I go here, again, this was streamlined because the game uses, I think, even more streamlined inventory than the usual Survivor IO, where we are. Here we are, where we just have 4 slots, usual attack on the left side, health on the right side, with the classical merge gacha. So again, streamlined from Western audience. This screen literally comes from Legend of Slime, if I'm right.
This is a one-on-one copy, right?
Yeah.
Not one-on-one. It's kind of very, very similar, where you have these like different rarity slimes, which means that there's still more slots than the inventory themselves, because you also have the slime. By the way, amazing move with the offers here, where as you progress through the game, there's all of these features unlock, because when you start the game, there's nothing here, which is like the unfolding is pretty nice. That like I will really give you that. But this I never seen before, where literally an offer comes up, but before the offer it says new feature unlock. The feature is the offer, basically.
Why not?
Yeah, it's great because it nicely kind of fits into the feature unfolding, whereas after you level up, like there's new features coming on, so on. And by the way, this new feature, it's called an offer. So that's there, and there's like the usual kind of live ops kind of hobby meta placed into it. That's really good. There's the usual kind of gacha, which I think is very, very nicely done. Again, much less better for the Western audience than the usual kind of the thing that basically Doodle Magic and the Bang Bang Survivor has, where you have 6 inventory slots with each of them having 5 gems. Therefore, like you need to like merge 30 gems and so on. It's a giant hassle. So this looks much better. And do I get that right, that this is currently the game with the biggest IP revenue per day in your portfolio?
Right now, yeah. If we speak about already launched, yeah, because we have some cool stuff to be prepared. We do a lot of right now cool games in-house, but right now, from what we have launched, if we speak about in-app, yeah, for sure, it is like our main title right now in terms of in-app daily revenue. But let's see, because we are right now talking with a lot of cool studios and develop a lot of cool titles. Actually, as everyone, I like what's going on, actually, because the games are becoming more deep, more like similar to what we receive from indie games from Steam. And by the way, from what I see, it is a strategy of Voodoo. They just take a lot of cool mechanics from indie games from Steam
of course,
and try to adapt to a mobile.
I think that was the whole point behind whole IO, where it was like in a game on Steam that wasn't even released, and it was taken from the trailer as the mechanic.
Yeah, and the same stuff what happened with Survivor.io. Actually, they took the whole balance. They took everything from Vampire Survivors, like even the balance, even the number of damage you deal to enemies. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know how now, but I compare the balance. Like
they switched during development because it was actually 2 years in soft launch. The original Survivor IO game looked completely different. Yeah,
but originally it was just the same. But by the way, what about Slime Castle? What about mechanics itself? Nothing new there. It is like, I don't know whether you guys know such a game, The Tower. It is radial tower defense. The Tower. You may right now like try to find The Tower. It is made by a studio from United States, Tech 3, probably. I don't remember exactly the name. Yeah, amazing tower defense game. God, it is amazing tower defense. Radial, simple setting, but quite charming. And actually, the main tower defense principles are from here. But not radial, as you mentioned. It is from like left to right. Yeah,
it's sideways basically. And can you talk a little bit more about development of this game? So do I get that right that this is done by in-house team or external team, or
it is external team? Moreover, the Chinese, and like it is our first Chinese studio, and it is external studio. It is what I can tell you right now.
That's great. Like I don't think so there's much kind of a movement coming from east to west regarding publishing Chinese people or Chinese developers in the West.
By the way, we're also trying to work more closely, and we are discussing right now several deals, not only publishing but merchant acquisition with Korean companies. And because I really love Korean mobile game dev, it is amazing.
I
really
can vouch to that. I really love them too.
What they do in mobile, it is absolutely amazing, really. And not only in idle RPG, but battlers.
You can just mention Dungeon and Fighter currently, which makes how many millions
for sure. And of course, we see right now Joynet phenomena with Mushroom Wars, with
Legend of Mushroom.
Legend of Mushroom. I'm sorry, Legend of Mushroom, or with their survival arena. I don't remember. Survivor.
Zombie.io.
Zombie.io. Yeah, amazing phenomena. But anyway, Korean game development in average, quite high performance and quality. But it is because when I talk with them, they all have 20 years of experience in game dev, and I'm crazy. Every time I reach those guys who make all those cool games, they have 20 years of experience in game dev. Oh my God.
How did you, by the way, even find them, or like how this happened? Because do you think like they were kind of pushed a little bit by the local forces as they have struggled publishing stuff there because of the government ISBN legislation?
Actually, it's not a big deal to do a deal, but to reach out is a problem because they do not normally use LinkedIn as we do. And,
like Western social networks,
yeah, they're quite closed. And for example, what about me? I have to ask my friends from there to do some intro. Good for me. I have some friends in Korean game dev, and I hope to acquire more. And I will be at Busan G-Star this year. As for me, maybe one of the coolest conferences that...
we were there last year also. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Are you also coming to China, Joy, this month?
Not me, but my team, guys from my team, they will. Several guys.
We will also be there. We'll be there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Jakub, can you open up the creatives? Because I kind of want to shift a bit to chat about UA.
Yep,
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm Matej, because I'm the second best UA manager. Never run a UA campaign. That's he's out of town today. Basically, if you take out all ad types, we're only looking at videos. Basically, there's a lot of concept here that we discussed on our last episode where we're discussing creative concepts. Our question was kind of just around like, what is your creative process and how do you come up with creatives to use? Because it's such an important aspect of mobile UA.
Actually, mainly we just look what other guys do and we try to do better or repeat the same. Like we anyway start with our own benchmarks, with our bench creatives, mainly started from what we see going on the market, and then try to do iterations and improve. We actively use AI, really actively, both for development and for creatives. Right now, we are in the phase when all our artists, they are right now they are taught how to use AI. And so actually, as every big publisher, we have the same processes. Like creative teams have brainstorm sessions, they explore what's going on the market, and we have a lot of motion designers, and we do a lot of creatives and test them. Like, it's a tough job, but
do you have a central creative team, or like within studios or within genres, or how does it work?
Yeah, we have a lot of different teams. They are divided, like we call it groups, like group A, group B, group C, and so on. And different groups, they have different games due to genre, due to priority maybe, and they work within this structure. So we have the structure like there is a creative producer. Creative producer has in team about 5 or 6 motion designers, and we have a lot of teams like that. To tell the truth, we have about 60 or 50 motion designers only.
Altogether,
maybe even more.
Which channels for UA are you running right now? Like what's working good, what's not working?
It's not a secret. Historically, like we are very strong on AppLovin, on Google, Mintegral. What about new games like Slime Castle? You will see soon new channels. It is what I can tell you right now, but not revealing some details. But right now, it is YouTube, which is normal for idle RPG. Right now, it is Facebook, it is AppLovin, it is all the standard hyper-casual and hybrid casual publisher media sources. But we will see soon, very soon, new media channels. And
So if you take as a funny creative,
literally a creative guy being covered in slime.
That's not something we probably look from someone. That's what.
So you get that straight. So if you take out Google and AppLovin, what are some other strong channels that you guys work with? Because they've kind of been killing it lately, both of them.
Actually, you may to compare AppLovin and Google.
Yeah.
Once again, I missed your question. Sorry. Look, what about hyper casual? Like AppLovin, probably much more than Google. We got a lot from AppLovin, really a lot. But we try to increase Google. We always work with them with strategic sessions. So we have workshops made by Google to us, and we always try to improve performance on this channel, and it is increasing. We're growing, and we like both. It depends on the genre, it depends on the games, but in general, since we are hyper casual mainly publisher and our mediation is AppLovin, we mainly get downloads for hyper casual titles from AppLovin. if you speak about hyper-casual.
Are all your titles on Max, or do you also put a certain percentage on other mediations to compare and kind of hold their feet to the fire?
As far as I know, we test, but uploading our mediation right now. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And I don't see any reasons why it may like change soon. Maybe, I don't know, but right now, yeah.
Remia,
right now.
Yeah. Remia, do you want to pull up Rollins, and let's just compare some of these creatives to actually Rollins, like a big hyper.
Amazing! It is my team, by the way. Rollins, amazing title.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
How's the name once again?
ROLL Rollins.
Rollins.
ANC. Yeah, there it is.
We also have action balls, but the same title. But Rollins, it is in a realistic setting, and it is reworked in terms of physics, and it acquires a lot of users. It spans good. Right now, we spend about maybe 30K daily or 35, something like that. It's pretty nice for hyper-casual title, and it is the title. It is semi-realistic setting.
There's this new trend that I keep hearing about, that like creatives are done with like in-engine, in-game gameplay, and then there's like a real-world background.
We did that stuff with our stack ball even 3 years ago, and it performed amazing. It is best practices. By the way, one more thing about our marketing team. We have some best practices from other genres, from other games, and we try to test first of all, we want to try to test best practices from other titles. For example, this realistic background, it is what we did with Stackball and what we do with Stackball for several years, and it works amazing. Right there, it works as well. Yeah.
Okay.
For some titles, no, but here it works.
I'm a bit curious, actually. Like, so you're one of the largest. You are probably the largest publisher in the world. Like, how do you evaluate new ad partners? Like, on the monetization side, like, is it bonus payments, word of mouth? Like, because I'm not sure all networks can afford the bonus payments that you would be asking for.
You know the stuff, Felix. You know the stuff. To tell the truth, right now we are more focusing on increasing our in-game metrics, and we are not looking actively for new partners. Like we are reached out by many of them, and we are very careful. We test sometimes, even without a bonus. We are open to test, but we haven't yet like switched or increased dramatically someone in our portfolio of ad partners.
Cool. Yeah. And another really hot topic, I guess, on ad monetization is the use of skip it, or the ability to like pay to skip rewarded ads. Voodoo's doing it, Sergey Games doing it. What's kind of Azur's take on this? Is it a good thing to pursue, or is it?
It is a matter of the whole composition of the game, and skip it's just as a solo actor, we tested them. For our portfolio, they don't work well, so we decided not to put efforts there, because as a solo actor it doesn't work. It is the whole composition, the whole look and feel of the game. Like, for example, the game like Slime Castle, it will work probably. For games like Kingdom Clash, Tank Stars, and some other titles probably as well. But what about Stackball or Rollins? From our perspective, it will not work. It is about the whole composition, the whole look and feel of the game, and of course, you may put to all games these skip its, and you will increase in-app revenue on 2 or 3%. But we would better add new content, new mechanics, and increase ads LTV 10 or 15%. It is, by the way, our strategy. What we are doing right now with old hyper-casual titles. We are not trying to fool ourselves. We understand that most of the games are just hyper casual. By the whole philosophy, they were created as hyper casual. If you put a lot of mechanics, a lot of meta gameplay, and so on, it will not become hybrid casual, you know. It is about the whole composition. So, since we know this basic understanding of the game, for example, ROAS, we will not try to do ROAS hybrid casual. We are working on filling, we are working on content, and we boosting ads monetization very well, as well as State.io. State.io, one of our biggest title as well in hyper casual. It is very high margin product.
You want to pull it up, Jakub?
Yep.
And we increased critically LTV, like by doing A/B tests, by adding new features, adding new content, but it is hyper casual.
Yeah. Do you segment your users as well, like showing different types of users, different ad experiences, or is it all the same because it's hyper casual?
No, actually, we do segmentation, like country, sex, and payments, possibility to do payments, lookalikes. We do like 3 groups. It is basic stuff. We test it. Normally, we test it. For example, ROAS. It is not a female game, but Action Balls, the same game but another setting. It is more about proportion the same. We always
so you play around with the cooldown timers on interstitials,
yeah, of course,
and like when you show rewarded ads, or like what kind of segmentation is you actually do?
Yeah, as well. We do such kind of A/B tests via remote configs, and we test those things. But once again, I call it small tweaks. It is small tweaks. Like the timer of interstitial, we're trying to do big iterations, to do big steps. Really, to tell the truth, it is not widespread practice for us to do small tweaks like interstitial cooldown and so on. For us, it's better to focus on big steps. And when we understand that our backlog for iteration is fulfilled, yeah, we have some time. Or maybe when big iteration is preparing by developer, yeah, we may test some small stuff.
Can you talk a little bit about the studio setup, basically, in a way that how much, if you could pretty much categorize it into percentages, how much percentages, or let's say how much of the developer team percentages are external, internal, and the big question, of course, do you have a core team that only works on features and not games per se, but like these kind of internal tools that help all the companies in the companies and external developers in the portfolio?
We have a core team. We have in-house team several in-house teams dedicated to the games we acquired. For example, games acquired from Legendary or from Good Job Games. But we acquired not full games by Good Job. Some of them we still have publishing contracts, and we pay royalties to partners. So we acquire right to publish, to tell the truth. And but we still acquire even our old titles. Some our old hits are already acquired, and we iterate in-house. I can't really tell you number of teams because once again, when you have from 500 till 1,000 something in average,
pretty big buffer.
Yeah, a big anyway. It is a big team, and we have different managers. I have my team. I have a strong in-house team, around 30 people, and we do several stuff. We do both iterate some titles that attached to my team. We create new titles. For example, if you speak about hybrid casual domain, it's normally for prototype stage. one game designer, 2 or 3 developers, 1 artist, 1 game producer. And it is like a normal team for one prototype in hybrid casual.
And the time frame is what, something like 1 to 3 months?
2, 3, sometimes even 4. It depends on the genre. When it is a mixture of a lot of layers of gameplay, it may took even up to half of the year. We have even such titles in development right now. We reworked a lot the whole business philosophy. We still have a lot of resources to work with external studios. To tell the truth, I can't evaluate, because in our Slack there are 4,000 members, including external studios and their employees. With most of them we don't work already, but they still in our Slack. But just for your basic understanding, when I joined, it was about maybe 1,000 with the external guys. Right now it's about 4. And
it's pretty massive Slack channel.
Yeah, I mean with guests.
Of course. That's accounted for.
So what about the whole proportion? We do not have any, how to say, any frames or any KPIs for it, and I can't even evaluate, because if we see that publishing needs more cool producers, game designers, we try to find them and to increase the team. As well as if we see that some team that made a good prototype, they need new members, we also try to enforce that team and hire more people. We didn't have layoffs. We only hire and hire. We did some optimization. Yeah, we fired some guys, but we hired a new one. And to answer your question, I can't evaluate the proportion, to tell the truth. But we have a lot of in-house teams in Azure.
Okay.
More than 15 different in-house teams that doing different stuff. That's what I can tell you.
And do you prefer to work with external developers, or let's say, do you prefer to take external developers in or work with them externally? Because some of the big publishers that we talked to, they literally told us that they're switching into, rather than working externals, acquiring the developers full-time together with the game, or by slow step process, but they prefer internal now because of the product know-how that it stays within the company. So do you have a similar take, or you just come completely okay with whatever the guys want, or just external publishing is okay? What's the stance?
Cool question. External publishing is always okay when you have amazing partner. When partner understands everything, they do good. The problem is that
you never have an amazing partner.
We always struggle. No, our partners are amazing, but we always struggle, and we like acquiring knowledge with our partners together. And we have some rock star studios, really. But from my perspective of view, our competitors, they have more studios like that, who don't actually need product support of a publisher. I know that our competitors, they unfortunately have more such studios, but it is just historical fact. It is how it is. We struggle, we acquire knowledge with our partners, and of course it is, as for me, I'm an external producer. By my mentality, for me, much easier to work with external guys. But I also struggle, I acquire knowledge, I have in-house studio, I'm head of this studio, and we do a lot of different stuff, and we also try to make cool games and
before kind of
to
wrapping
give
up,
full
I think this is a
experience
good
to our
question
users.
to ask.
And
It's
of
kind
course,
of the last one, if you have nothing else to add, Remo.
Of course.
Yeah. So let's say I have a game studio, it's hyper casual. Remo has a game studio, is hybrid casual. He's working on a game. You're head of publishing. When should we try to reach out to you? What stage of development?
Actually, I always give feedback even on the stage of idea. A lot of mistakes developers do on pre-production stage. Really, a lot of developers, they're shy. They're shy to reach out publishers, but yeah, good for them. You may be shy if you want to ask for advance payment for your prototype. Yeah, it is like normally publishers do not respond actively when they see that someone is trying to receive pay to prototype model or something like that. But if we speak about the whole ideation process, if developers have some ideas, it's better even maybe to be a little bit, to use this tricky moment. Really, it is insight for developers. Use this tricky moment, even with me. You may reach out publisher and tell them, okay, guys, we have ideas. We do not need any advance payments, but we need proof of concept. We need we need your opinion about the ideas we have. If developer anyway ready to do by their own the game, it's much better to reach out someone and to discuss it. And a lot of mistakes I see on this stage because developers, they don't understand the whole progression of the game, how much content it will be, how monetization will work. And right now it is especially important. Yeah, everyone tries to do hybrid casual game, but they don't understand what they will monetize. What are you going to monetize? That is the question to you guys. And when you will speak with the publisher, you have some chances to receive just for free some kind of thoughts, and probably at least you will have some information, and in the best scenario you may even find maybe some kind of advance payment, because yeah, everyone says that pay to prototype model doesn't work and so on, but anyway, all the publishers, they still not in a very active way, but they still support studios as well as we do. So don't be shy, better reach out someone, share the idea, receive feedback, and then decide what to do with that feedback. If you like feedback, and if you anyway do game by your own, and if you like feedback, you may finish the game and go to this publisher and test the game. What about us? If we see potential, at least small potential, but we see potential, we support teams with payments. We pay for iterations. Even if we understand the chances are low, but still we see some chances, we are ready to pay for iteration. And this model works perfectly. Yeah, unfortunately, right now it's very difficult for a studio to receive advance payment for prototype, but for iterations, it's not a problem, I believe.
And for iterations, you mean, if I understand it correctly, so they come to you, you run the test, there's some KPIs, you still see potential, so you give them feedback, tell them like, we can support you 1 month of iteration, let's try it again, and then the whole kind of cycle continues, and you'll see how the test can determine.
Thanks for being so open with us, sharing so much.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll love to have you on again in the future and talk about any other hit games.
Yeah.
Really useful.
Hope it was useful, man, because
it was really nice. Like I really like the the relaxed thing of like everything's dying, nothing's dying, and it is as it is.
You can catch us in China, Joe. If you're going, we'll definitely reach out to your team.
Yeah, my team will go.
We'll invite them to our events. We're doing an event with Sensor Tower, so we'd love to have them there.
I will introduce, I will make an intro.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Perfect. Anyway, we will see each other soon.
Thank you, Sergey.
Conference, because
Bye-bye.
It is what we do.
Thank you very much, Sergey.
Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.